Yay!
Hey!
Everyone, so welcome in our Tuesday live TwTw hangout, and we are here together with Kim Justice because she's our co-host and good friend and business partner, and together with Dirk.
Hi.
And myself, Muriel. What? But?
Our guest.
Yes, of course. Why we are here is not only to be here with the three of us. No, we have brought a very, very special guest today to inspire you, to let you hear what is possible, to open your mind, onto the path of freedom and living dreams. It's Erica Udeanu. You must help me with your last name because I tried to say it the best way. But
you did it beautifully.
Yes, oh, thank you. Okay, I practiced. But we are very honored to have you here because we know that your story is like you are a role model for so many people. You inspired us on our online journey because, yeah, that's just how it is. And we can, Kim, Dirk, and I, we've met a while ago on one of our business events, our company events, and we can talk all day and night about the benefits of working online, on how it was the solution for us. For example, for us, it has been a solution because this guy, Dirk, perhaps you must say it yourself, what happened or why it has been a solution for us.
I think we all have our reasons to start a new adventure, but ours was, or mine was, the trip was, I hit bankruptcy about 2 years ago, and then you left empty-handed, and we were about 300K in debt.
300,000, yeah, 300K, yeah, sure.
And 2 kids, and what are you going to do? So, the logic thing to do was to search for ways to make money using the internet, because I still had a laptop left and of course some other stuff, and we had basic, but there was drastic measures should be taken, because it's just basically it was that or paying off the debt for the coming 20 years, and that's not what we want. So
yeah, this mom was no option for me to work my ass off with taking 2 or 3 extra jobs, because being a mom, it would be very weird for me to never ever see my kids, because taking another 2 or 3 jobs to earn it back. And so that is how we started our way online. Yeah. And it's amazing to see what's possible. And we hooked up with Kim, and I want to bounce it back to Kim here before we, of course, go to Erica. Please share something great, that great story about you, Kim, because, well, there you go.
And where are you?
Where are you right now? Because you're traveling, girl.
Well, first, before I introduce myself and talk about my story, I just want to bring out Lena real quick. She just jumped on, and Lena, how are you doing? I just saw you yesterday, but here you are again, so it's good to see you.
It's good to see you. I'm glad I finally made it in. I kept trying. It's like, yes, finally.
All right, awesome. So Lena is a brand new team member of mine, and I wanted to bring her out because her story is amazing. But first, I wanted to kind of mention why, and there's Christopher coming in with laundry. Tonight's laundry night in the Youre Justice household. We're in an Airbnb right now in Sweden. We've been traveling. Today is our 8-week anniversary, traveling around the world, and we couldn't be happier. It's a little rainy right now, but we were able to venture around Old Town Stockholm. We did take a boat cruise through the Stockholm Island, so it was really neat to be able to experience the culture, the people, and we had some great Swedish beer today, so that was a highlight for us. But yeah, so why I used to be a personal trainer and a gym owner. And I was tired of being sick and tired, basically. I was working about 60 plus hours per week, and I loved my job. I absolutely loved helping people. I loved getting them lit up, just seeing their transformation and being able to help transform lives. And that was what was driving me to work those kind of hours, because the more hours I worked, the more people I was helping. But there started to be a cycle where I neglected my health and I neglected my life, my lifestyle, and the things that I love most. And part of that is, you know, being with my friends and family, and then also traveling. There was a period of time for like 3 years where I only took like maybe 1 or 2 one-week vacations, and you know, here and there I would maybe go away for a weekend. But it got to the point where I'm sacrificing my 20s building this career, and I didn't see a light at the end of the tunnel. So I decided to look for other jobs that would maybe be great pay, work less hours, the salary type of job. But literally, I tried for 9 months to a year, and no one would hire me because all I had in my back pocket was fitness. I got my degree in exercise science. I knew fitness in and out. I knew everything, and I was great at it. However, my other options were getting reduced pay and working at like a Starbucks or something. And I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to kind of dive into a different career and then also settle for less and probably not still have a great lifestyle. So I looked online because I kind of went through the travel blogs, and I started reading about how these travelers are able to make an income online, and especially through affiliate marketing. And I did some research on it, and I found some mentors that were living and breathing the lifestyle that I wanted, which was freedom, not only financial freedom, time freedom, but also to travel the world with my boyfriend. And so we started, I started, and we've been able to travel the world and live free. And it's just been an amazing experience so far of what an online business can do. And, you know, I didn't know anything when I first started. I didn't know nothing. I have a degree in dumbbells. We make that joke every hangout, but I literally have a degree in dumbbells, where I almost failed computer science class in college. So blogging, I knew about it because a lot of fitness professionals did it. So, but basically, I started from zero. I had no list, no leads. I started at zero, but when you have the right information from the right people and really follow and duplicate what they're doing, and which is great about our community. We're all in the same community. We're all in the same online business system where we learn and duplicate what is successful in our community, because we are transparent with each other. There's no competition. We are helping side by side, linked arms, you know, towards this common goal of being able to free people from the forces of evil, basically, which is living a life that you hate. And that's why we have Erica here, because she was living a life in her passion. She had a career in her passion. However, it wasn't her true purpose. She literally was, you know, she's going to tell her story, but I'm just going to give a little hint of, you know, she was at that point where she was like trying to fight the forces of evil, and she didn't know how to do it until one day she's like, enough is enough. I'm going to figure out how to do this no matter what. That's it, period. And she did. So I'm so excited to have her tell her story, because it's going to really help you guys, the viewers, understand that you don't need to be a guru. You don't need to have the like the talent right from the beginning in order to do this business. You just have to have a dream, and you have to really be clear on your dream, because that is what is going to make you take action towards it every single day. And so, Erica, thank you so much for coming out here. And we just want to have you kind of introduce yourself. Why were you needing to find a solution when you first started venturing into the online business world?
Well, you know what? Our introduction to this world came completely by accident. Like, I think we are some of the only people who never actually went online looking to try and work out how to make money online. I think we're the only ones who were that clueless. Like, you mentioned your clueless story, and I love that because it is such an important part of everyone's story that so many of us, we come to this industry with zero skills. Zero skills. Our skill set was we didn't know what blogging was. We didn't know what Twitter was. I joke about this all the time. I knew that Twitter was something that Demi Moore and her then husband did, but I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what they were doing. They were tweeting, but I didn't know what that meant, right? We didn't have a Facebook account. You know what? I'd seen people on Facebook in the job we're on, which is we're working as art auctioneers on cruise ships, and they were sitting at their computers in the the computer kiosk that we had on ships. I'm like, why are you wasting your life sitting on a computer in this room when you could be outside? Like, I didn't understand what anyone was doing online. I did not understand. I could turn on a computer, but that was about it. Okay, so my level of comprehension was pathetic. I didn't know how to do a Google search. I didn't even know how to search for how to make money online. That was how completely computer illiterate I was, right? I'm lucky that my husband was a little bit more computer literate than I, but not much more. Okay, we've learned a lot since we started. But basically, how we ended up online is a really roundabout story. We were working on cruise ships as art auctioneers, and we had a beautiful life. And there is no way in the world, in the year 2008, I ever would have thought that I would be doing anything different. Like, I loved art. I loved what I was doing. I loved cruising. I loved the islands. I loved everything about our life, right? But there's a funny thing that happens when you don't get paid for doing what you love anymore. And then you start asking the question, do I really love this job? Like, do I really like working for nothing, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's one thing when you work for yourself for nothing, like as an entrepreneur, there's that risk when you start, for a little while, you may not get paid, right? But you're working for yourself. You're working for your own dreams, right? But when you're working for somebody else and you're not getting paid, well, the cogs start turning. It's like, well, this is kind of like a definition of insanity. Like, what am I doing here, right? So what happened for us was we were selling kind of like a top-end product, a high-end art product and a low-end art product and a mid-range product, right? But after the crash of 2008, it got so bad that people couldn't even afford to buy the cheap stuff that we were selling, right? So we still had to put in the hours. We still had to pay our staff. We still had to run the business, on the cruise ship, right? But we weren't making any money, to the point where we were dipping into our own pocket to pay our staff, to pay for our jobs, right? So we're going into the negative. Not that we're just not making the money, we're going into the minus, right? And our breaking point came, one day we opened up this commission check for $9.38. And I remember looking at this check, and I got out my calculator, which is, of course, my phone. And I got out my calculator, and I'm like, I divided $9.38 by 50 hours. We were working for 17 cents an hour. 17 cents an hour. And I'm like, this is nuts. Like, everyone has their breaking point. And I know before we got on to tonight's Hangout, you guys watched a Hangout we did last night, and I told a different story of what my prior breaking point to that was. And if you want me to share that story, I will. But the massive breaking point was realize that I wasn't worth anything. I was working for 17 cents an hour. And I always remember grabbing my husband's hand. It was the last night of the cruise, and this is when we have to balance, all the finances and everything. And I grabbed my husband's hand, and I put my hand on top of his, and I said, hon, if we work as hard in our own business as we do this job, we would have to be successful. We would have to be, right? And it was a big, big, big shift in consciousness to go, you know what? I'm out of here. I quit. I quit, right? That's scary. Like, you don't just quit your job, like, after one sentence. But we did. We did, you know. And I think that's one of the things that has inspired a lot of people to follow our story, because very few people have that courage to quit their job. Do you know what I mean? And at that moment, I thought it was completely normal. Well, why would I stay? I have no reason to stay. You're not paying me. Like, it's not like I'm turning down a great career opportunity here. You're not paying me. And prior to this moment, we had been introduced by my hairdresser to this multi-level marketing opportunity, right? And it's a really, really funny story. I went to get my hair done 3 months before this moment where I grabbed my husband's hand, and my hairdresser said, Erica, I'm so excited. I have a travel business. He was from the Philippines. I hope I got that accent right. And I'm looking at him like, what do you mean you have a travel business? He goes, I've got a travel business, I've got a website, and I'm going to make $5,000 a month doing nothing. And we were working 50 hours a week making nothing. And I'm like, he's going to make $5,000 a month doing nothing? I want to know what he's doing, right? And so we started talking to this guy about this travel business he was in. And he gave us a link, and I had no idea that we were entering the MLM world, the network marketing world. I had no idea. I thought we had a travel business, right? So when I said this to my husband, we were like, damn it, we're going to go home to New Zealand, and we're going to sell this travel business to all of our friends, and it's going to be so amazing, and we're going to make $5,000 a month doing nothing. That's
goodness.
When anyone ever tells you you're going to make X amount doing nothing, run for the hills. Run for the hills. Just it's BS. It doesn't exist in any industry. You will never ever make something for nothing. In this industry, in any industry, you are paid based on the value you bring to your industry, right? So if anyone ever says that, I beg you, run for the hills or find someone else to talk to, right? And so what happened was we went home to New Zealand, and we found out really, really fast that you do not make $5,000 a month doing nothing. And we had no warm market, right? I'd been on ships for 11 years, my husband for 5, 6, or 7 years, right? And so he had no friends or family in New Zealand. I hadn't been home for 11 years. I knew nobody, and we're like, how do you build a business? And our sponsors are saying, just talk to everyone you know. And we're like, we really don't know anyone. And they're like, well, make new friends. And I'm like, for what? And that's how we ended up online, right? We went online, and I remember entering this thing, like, what is MLM? like, say what? And this is how the whole journey started, right? And then I saw that people were trying to work out how to get leads for their MLM. And then I read that some people were doing blogging to get leads for their MLM. And that's how we kind of did the full circle. And that's how we ended up here. We weren't looking for ways to make money online. We were trying to work out what we fell into that didn't work. You know what I mean? So it's a really, really interesting. We didn't even know this industry existed. We did not know that there was a make money online industry, that there was a work from home industry. All we knew was we had a travel business and no customers. You know what I mean? So that's how we ended up here, you know. And do you want me to tell you share the story that I shared last night on the hangout last night? Okay.
That'd be great. That'd be great.
Oh, look, it's a family show. I love that. So this was the biggest turning point, and part of my story now is about helping other people find your true authentic voice, helping other people find your true passion and tapping into that and sharing that with your audience via, you know, what we do. We blog. I mean, we all blog, right? If you want to be online, you want to be successful online, you must have a blog, you must have a presence. But that presence comes from you sharing your unique voice, because at the end of the day, this business, it's about people. It is not about whatever platform you belong to. It's not about whatever business you're in. It's not about whatever comp plan is associated with your business. It's about you, right? And if you don't know how to get the story out of you to your audience, it makes it just that little bit more difficult. And at the end of the day, this is so much more than about making money. This business that we're in is about helping people change their lives, helping them find true freedom so that they can work out what they were put on this planet to do and be, right? And so here was my turning point before the big turning point. And I'll never forget it, because I was at a crisis point, but I didn't know it, right? I had an awesome job that I thought I loved. I really did. I had, like, literally, I could print money on demand. Like, if I had the right client in front of me and I had the right painting on the easel, I could print money. It was a time where people wanted luxury. They wanted these beautiful stories to put on, stories. They wanted these beautiful stories to put on their walls, and they would pay for those stories, right? It was not uncommon to, you know, have a $100,000 cruise. It was not uncommon to have a $500,000 cruise. You know, our best cruise was $1.2 million, right? Our commissions were pathetic. However, and that's one of the great things about, you know, the business we're in. Our commissions are awesome, right? But, you know, in the real world, your commissions are not great, right? Your commissions kind of suck, right? So our commissions were, you know, kind of like under 10%. But and then you got to take taxes and all that other stuff out. And so, yeah, it's rough. It's rough out there in the real world, right? And I had this beautiful career. I was newly married. Everything should have been rosy, right? And I'll never forget this one day. I was in my cabin, and we didn't have windows in this particular cabin on this particular contract. And I remember grabbing my fist and thumping the bed, crying, why am I here? What is my purpose? Like, I don't get it. There has to be more than this, right? And my husband, bless his heart, he's so beautiful. We didn't know about personal development. We didn't know about reading books. You know, I read books in my 20s, but I kind of dumped that in my 30s when I went on ships. It was just a whole different lifestyle. And we didn't read. You know, we weren't tapped into anything other than art. We weren't tapped into anything other than what we were doing. And he was so beautiful. And to calm me down, he said, "Hun, your purpose is to sell joy. That's what you do. You sell joy. When people look at that painting and they hear you tell the story about that painting or the artist or how it came about, they buy you. They buy a piece of you with that painting, right? You sell joy." And I remember looking and thinking, yeah, that's an awesome answer, but no, it doesn't cut it. No, it's not it. That's not it. If that's my purpose, then why do I feel so dead? Why do I feel so empty, right? And I'll never forget this walk, this one walk. I'll never forget as long as I live, right? I'm in my beautiful silk suits. I've got diamonds dripping everywhere, and I'm wearing these really, really tall stilettos. Because in that career, I had to, I couldn't show up like this. I couldn't show up with like a dirty old baseball cap on and a t-shirt or whatever. I couldn't show up like this, right? I had to look bling, right? And I had the bling. None of it meant anything. And I remember my cabin was at one end of the corridor, and I had to walk, I don't know how many feet, but let's say it felt like 5 miles, right? But let's say it was 50 feet. I didn't even know how long it was. And I remember I could see the end of the corridor. It was this white light at the end, and the corridor was kind of dimmed. And normally I would march up this corridor, like just do, you know, off to work, like, you know, I'm so bling. And this day, I remember that the cabin door slammed behind me. There was this huge dull thud, and I put one foot out and then the other, and I looked down, and it was as if my feet were weighted with concrete bricks. You know those big, big concrete bricks, right? That like you see in mafioso movies, and people get thrown over bridges with they tied to their ankles, right? I felt like these were tied to my feet, and I tried to put one foot in front of the other, in front of the other. I couldn't move my feet. And I'm thinking, how am I going to get to the end of the corridor, right? I walked as hard as I could to get to my destination, and by the time I got there, I literally, my heart was pounding. I don't know if I was having a panic attack, an anxiety attack. I thought I was having a heart attack, but I'm like, okay, something has got to change. This is not working for me anymore, right? And that was the point where both my husband and I started putting our feelers out, being open to new ideas, because we couldn't live on ships forever. That's no life for anybody, right? We couldn't keep going round in circles. Like literally on a cruise ship, you go around in circles, like literally. That's what you do, you go around in circles, right? We couldn't keep doing that. Like, for how long? For how long can you go around in circles doing nothing, achieving nothing, being nothing, just selling stuff? Like, it didn't make any sense. And that was the big turning point before the massive turning point. And I think everyone has those moments where they just say, you know what, I'm done. I'm out of here. I can't do this anymore. And it reminded me of a story, and I wish I told this last night. It reminded me after September 11. You know, you'll always remember the graphic images of, you know, what happened with those towers and some people choosing to throw themselves out of the windows. And in the aftermath, so many people on Wall Street quit Wall Street to go into the country and have a simple life. And the stories that came out over and over again was, it's not worth it. The money's not worth it. What we're chasing down there in Wall Street, it's not worth it. And I got to that point where it wasn't worth it anymore. The money didn't make me happy. The prestige didn't make me happy. You know, I was a 2.5 stripe officer. Like, I had status, right? It didn't make me happy. Nothing made me happy. Inside, I was this big, black, dark hole of nothingness. I remember having a 10-day cruise. We would have, you know, 2, 5, and 2. I'm so tired. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It was a 9-day cruise, right? We would have 2 sea days on the front, which is when I had to work. We'd have 5 sea days in the middle in some exotic ports somewhere, and then we'd have 2 sea days on the end. During those 5 port days, I mentioned before, we had no windows in our cabin, right? I would literally get into bed, pull the covers over my head, and sometimes not come out for 3 days. Something was wrong. Something was really, really wrong. And that's how we ended up here. You know, when I saw the potential of what people were doing online, when I saw the fact that you could pick up your laptop and go anywhere in the world with it and have a business, that you weren't tied to one geographic location, that you weren't tied to a cubicle, that you weren't tied to anything with no one telling you what to do and when you had to do it, man, I was in. I was in like Flynn. We dropped that MLM faster than a hotcake. It was gone. What travel company? We never did that thing, you know. And we were in. We were in like Flynn. Like we grabbed hold of this thing. We saw the huge vision. We saw the ability to help the masses, and we just went for it. We went for it like there was no tomorrow. So yeah, that's kind of like my story.
That's amazing.
What Erica, thank you for sharing this, because this will help so many people who, I believe, feel that something is wrong, like how you described it. You know, you feel it in your heart, you feel it in your soul, you feel there's a big black dark hole, how you described it so beautifully. So many people that we have around us, perhaps you have around you, don't dare to listen to that feeling, because they're surrounded with people who still think in the box, who are afraid of open their minds. And what I am curious about is when you had the art to see that something had to change, because I believe that's an art, that is something you have to allow, and you just found this online business system where you got started in. What thing helped you to believe that it was possible to change it? Because what I want to go to with my with my intro is that we have a community all working together with like-minded souls, and the world we have around us here, the offline world, the restaurant owner world, the social worker world, there are people they're used to think in the box. They don't think there's something possible outside of it. What helped you immediately after getting started that you know got you on the move, that got you moving? Because there was that point you took step 1, but what kept you there, working with the online business system in the community? What was it that you found that answered your beliefs?
Okay, so everyone is allured by the money. Okay, and this is a message that I pray changes. Okay, I think this is something that has to change. We have to stop talking about the money, and we have to start talking about the difference we can make in people's lives. We were lured by the money. We saw big checks. We saw big money. We saw massive, massive incomes getting, you know, plastered in front of our faces, right? And that caught our attention. And we're like, I want that, right? I want that. We didn't know the underbelly of what those kind of those big money messages were all about. We didn't understand the dynamics of it. So for the first 6 months, we believed that making that money was possible, right? But we struggled. Like we struggled in the first 6 months. We struggled because we got in, towards the end of 2011, and by July of the following year, we were still kind of struggling a little bit, right? And our beliefs started to waver, and we started to question, were those checks real? Were those people real? Were they fake clickback actors? Like, have I just been duped? Like, we had moments of doubt. We had moments of like, oh my God, what have we done? Are we crazy? Like, oh my God, right? And there was this turning point. Again, darlings, your entire lives are going to flip on turning points. They really will. And it'll be easier when you look backwards at what these turning points were, what these big shifts in your life were. It's hard when you're in it. It's hard when you're in the crap. And this particular moment, you know, Alex and I were very stressed out about this big decision we'd made. And, you know, we had family and friends saying, oh, that's never going to work. And, oh, my God, you're so crazy. And, oh, you should go and get a real job. And, like, oh, my God, you know, you were so good at the art. Go back and do that. And I'm like, oh, my God, get out of my head. Like, just get out of my head, right? And the pressure was so intense that, you know, Alex and I, we had a moment where we separated. You know, he came back here to where I am now in Europe. And I was back in New Zealand trying to make sense of what on earth have I got us into? Like, it was my idea, it was my crazy idea. Come on, let's quit our jobs, you know? But I knew we couldn't do what we were doing. There was no money in it. We both hated it. I was depressed. I was, you know, we were not in a good place mentally, right? So what else was there for us? I looked at jobs. I looked at getting jobs in New Zealand. There wasn't a job I could even get, even if I wanted to. If I was lucky, I could have got a job at the supermarket, maybe packing groceries. Like, excuse me? I'm going to go from this prestigious job on ships to packing groceries? That ain't happening, right? But we're at crisis point, right? My husband had gone. I was left with this big mess, family and friends all around me. What am I going to do, right? Turning point. There was an event coming up. And I'd heard everyone say, oh my God, you've got to get to events. You've got to get to events. If you get to an event, it'll change your life. And I'm like, dude, you are on the other side of the world, okay? I don't want any more of your false promises, any more of your false dreams. I don't want any more of your hype, okay? I'm going to sit here on my computer and I'm going to work this out, right? And I'll never forget, the mind is a very powerful thing. And I always remember I tried to trick my brain into believing that the event that everyone was talking about had already passed. Therefore, I could just get on with my business and forget about that event, right? And I got 2 emails, you know, because you're talking about belief, what made me go on, right? I got 2 emails. One was from a guy not in our business, and he talked about the power of his first event. He was from Australia, and he talked about the fact that, hey, this event was in Vegas. I did not want to go. It was so much money. I was practically broke, but my mentors kept telling me, you've got to get to an event. It's going to change your life. I did not want to go. And he goes, but something made me go. And now I'm making like $25 million a year. And I'm looking at this email, I'm like, oh, stop it. Get out of here. And a little piece of me got a bit angry, right? A bit angry. I'm like, ooh. Because he was an Australian. I could relate to that. I'm a New Zealander, right? I'm like, ooh. So I tried to push it to one side, right? Remember, the brain is a very powerful machine. The next day, listen to the signposts. Keep your eyes open for the signposts. They are all around you. There are signals, signs leading you on the path you're meant to take. The very next day, I got another email from someone in our industry, from in our business model, and he had a 15-minute video of him out in these beautiful, it looked like Colorado mountains, with his mountain bike. And he was talking about the freedom he experienced having gone to his first event and taken his business to the level he needed to take it to be free to do what he wanted, when he wanted, with whomever he wanted. And he was free. And I heard this freedom speech, and by now I'm fuming, because this guy's making 6 figures, right? And I'm so angry. And I had these people, you know, from the company going, if you don't get to this event, you're a wussy, and you're this, and you're that, and you don't deserve success, and I'm like, I am so over you. I'm so over all of you, right? And for some reason, I don't know why. I don't know why. I logged into the back office of the business we're in, and I looked for the date. I looked for the date of this event. I don't know why. I thought it was gone, right? And lo and behold, the event was next week. Oh, my God. I got out my wallet. I got out my credit card. I swear to God. I went on to, I don't know if it was Expedia or Kayak. I checked to see if I could get a flight. I checked to see if I could get a hotel room. And then I got my event ticket. I got an email a couple of days later from my husband, babe, there's some funds missing from the account. I'm like, I know. I'm off. I'm going to America. And I went to my first event, right? And I saw these people on stage, these normal, average people on stage. And I got to talk to them. And I got to hear their stories. And they all started from nothing. I'm like, oh, man. We are so in this. We are so doing this. I'll never forget, I made a phone call from Atlanta to my husband, and he could hear something different in me. My tone was different. My posture was different. My energy was different, right? The way I was speaking was different. And I said, babe, we've got this. And he said, babe, I'm coming home, right? He came home, I flew home, and we just built like crazy. And then within the space of 4 months, we had our first 5-figure month, right? Who can explain how that happened? All I can say is it came from belief, it came from faith, and it came from this energy, it came from just knowing that if you apply what other successful people are telling you to do, you can do this. You can make this work, right? And just a quick thing, Muriel, I want to just tap into something you said about, these people out there who maybe are too scared to try this, right? Let them be. They're not enough pain yet. They are not in enough pain yet. They're not hurting bad enough to look at what you're doing, right? Forget them. Go out and find the people who are hurting, who need this, right? I was hurting. I was hurting so bad. I don't want to say I would have done something really stupid, but I was bad. I was hurting so bad, right? I would have done anything to get out of the way I was feeling, to change direction, right? That's who you need to be talking to. That's who your target audience is. Not these people that are comfortable, my life's fine. They're not ready now. They may be in 6 months time. If you come to me in 2008 and show me this, I'll get out of here with your silly thing. I'm not interested in that.
Me too.
You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
you have to be hurting. You have to be hurting, right? And some people, they're not hurting enough. So let them, run their course. Maybe they get made redundant. Maybe they get fired. Maybe, something horrible happens. Then they'll go, hey, guys, what's that thing you're doing again? Can you tell me about it now, right? They have to be open, right? You cannot present something to someone who is not ready for it. It's just never going to happen. It's like if you have a weight loss program and you have a friend who is having weight challenges, if they're not ready to give up the pinkies and the dinkies and the Twinkies, whatever they eat, you know that, Kimberly, you know what they eat, right? If they're not ready to give up the Twinkies, right?
Definitely the pinkies.
Yeah, there ain't no fitness program or no diet plan on this planet that is going to make them look at what you've got because they're not ready, right? They have more attachment to their comfort foods than the pain of making a shift, of making a change, of making a transition to something else. And let's not be, fooling anyone here. This is a transition. This takes work. This is not, you plug into the online world and overnight you're successful. No, you have to learn skills. Like you had to learn skills, to be in the fitness industry. What was that, a 3-year degree, a 5-year degree?
It was a 4-year degree, bachelor's, and then plus a ton of events after that, continuing education.
Yeah.
So it doesn't happen overnight.
So you don't just turn up at the gym and start doing aerobics with everyone and everyone starts getting fit. No.
Yeah.
You have to learn stuff, right? And it's the same thing here, So people need to be in enough pain to move from where they are to somewhere else that is going to take some learning, right? So they're not your target audience, darling. Friends and family, if they're all happy, they're not your target audience. Leave them be. Get your message out to the people who really need you. And there are plenty who need you, trust me.
Wow, that is right on the head. And in the beginning, you think like, oh, it's like other businesses where you do try to focus on your warm market, but it's not. Like,
No.
what's great about the skills that we learn is we focus on, and you do too, attraction marketing, where you're talking about your vision. You talk about who you are and where you see yourself going and where you are now, and people can find their solution in your story, and they can see that you're a normal person. Just like you said, it took you to see normal people on stage, not just talking about the results they're getting, but about the freedom that they're getting from those results. Yeah. And it's just been so powerful to be in that kind of community, because then when I first started, it was like every single day, it's like, well, if my mentor can do it, who's like 24 years old and an ex-plumber, and he's able to travel the world and earn like 5-figure months, and now he's been in it for a year and he's earning like over 120K in the last year, and you know, if he can do it as like a previous plumber, I think I have the ability to do it, you know? And it's just, it all comes down to seeing other people, believing in yourself, and taking massive action. And you nailed it on the head that you came home and got to work. You didn't just come home all inspired, oh, you know, this is awesome. You actually had to put things into action that you learned at these events and all the tools that you're learning in our online business. And I love that. You really created light on that, so thank you. I actually, I wanted to ask you a little bit, just a logistical side, is what platforms do you use to, because you say you get leads and sales through online marketing, what platforms do you use, just so people can get an idea of where to find you and how to get in touch with you, and also, you know, what to expect when, like, what is an online business, I guess.
Well, our biggest, and I would recommend this for anyone brand new getting started, and because this is what we were told, right, when we first got started. They said, set up a blog, right, blog daily, and make videos, right? The reason why that's so powerful is because when you are brand new, these are free strategies, right? And free organic strategies, even though they do take a little longer to take into effect, they are permanent. They never go away, right? When we came back and we decided to go really, really hard, we were blogging like 4 times a day. We were cutting maybe 3 YouTube videos every single day, and we just created massive amounts of content. See, we were really, really great at the theory up until this point. So we learned about, you know, how to do keyword research. We learned about how to, you know, syndicate our content, how to get our content in front of the right people, right? But we were pretty kind of a bit blasé about it, right? We're just kind of like, I don't know if we're lazy, but we didn't have that sense of urgency. I don't know why. You know, a lot of things, it took us a long time to grapple with certain ideas, and it was just, I don't know, we weren't cohesive, right? But when we got back from that event, bam, it was like all of this information was downloaded into our brains. We're like, okay, we know what to do. We always did, right? We always did, right? You get told from the beginning what you got to do, right? For some reason, it just sunk in after the event. So I would always, always, always recommend for new people that you've got to start with the free stuff first. I don't recommend that anyone starts with paid traffic in the beginning. If you're not prepared to learn how to create compelling capture pages, if you're not prepared to learn how to create converting emails on the back end, if you, you know, there's time for that. You know, in my opinion, this online world, it's a university, and if you were going to be, I don't know, you're going to university to be a doctor, right? You're not going to do open heart surgery in the first 3 months, right? No way. You'd be lucky to get through, I don't know, 6 years of university, and then maybe 3 years of being, what are they, residents or something? Maybe 12 years after you decide to become a doctor, you might do open heart surgery, but you're not going to do it in the first 3 months, right? And that's how I feel about paid traffic. You know, paid traffic is like open heart surgery. It is a science, right? There is a science to that. But when you can learn how to share your authentic voice through your blogging and through your videos, guess what? This is a people industry. People buy you. They don't buy your company. They don't buy your products. They don't buy your comp plan. They buy you. And how beautiful that you can get into an online business model for practically nothing. The tools you need are a blog and YouTube and Facebook and Twitter, now Periscope. You've got a business. You've got a business. That's all you need, right? But you need something else. You need belief, you need faith, and you need a voice, okay? And your voice comes from your story. You know, so many people, I see they struggle with this, they struggle with telling their story. And here's the thing, if I meet you in a coffee shop, right, and I'm all closed up, and you know, I'm like, hey, Kim, really nice to meet you. Yeah, yep, awesome. Yep, great weather. Do you want to get to know me? No. You have no idea anything about me because I'm closed and I'm shut down, right? And this is how a lot of people are when they come online. They're so closed down, right? And they don't realize that the reason for getting online, the story that brought them to this business model, is why other people will be attracted to them in the first place. And everyone has a different story. And everyone's story is going to resonate with a different audience, right? And everyone's past experiences is going to relate to a different audience, right? And I love what you mentioned in the introduction. You said we're a community that helps everybody. And the reason we do that is because we realize there's no competition, right? Because I can't be Kimberly. I can't be Dirk. I can't be Mira. I can't be you guys, right? And you can't be me. So we have our different audiences, and people are going to be attracted to us for different reasons, right? And because we're all so unique and because we all have a different story, that's why there's so much abundance. You know, you're going to attract your people, you're going to attract your people, I'm going to attract my people, and that's how it works. And that's why we support each other as a community, because we believe in abundance, not scarcity. We don't believe in competition. You know, we believe that if we help enough people get what they want, this community thrives and everyone gets what they want, right? And at the end of the day, the one goal is that everyone is free. That's the ultimate goal here. It's just freedom. That's it. That's it.
That's amazing. Thank you so much. And Muriel or Dirk, did you have anything to add on to that, or ask Erica? Before I want to bring out Lena. She was a little nervous before she joined because of technical difficulties, but I wanted her to kind of share her vision. And she has 3 words that she's actually held on to for a very long time of what she wants in her life. So I'm going to bring her out in a second here, but go ahead, you guys.
Dirk,
No,
you the word?
no, you do it.
Okay. What I want to say 2 things. First, Erica, we watched you for a long time on video because you were touching on YouTube, the power of YouTube, and the power of video. For our viewers here who have never experienced the marketing strategy to learn to know, like, and trust, that we experienced it ourselves, and we are using it ourselves because we are into video as well, that I said to Dirk, isn't this amazing? In the chat, when we were inviting you for this hangout, I said to Dirk, isn't this weird? We are teaching this to our team, to our list, to our viewers, that about you have to, when people know you, like you, and trust you, you know, you can market to them. And we had the feeling that we knew you already for such a long time.
Yeah, exactly. Isn't that funny?
You know, in an event, I will spontaneously give you a hug because I feel like, you know, it's the world is so getting so small.
So this is the proof that I said to him, it's so nice to experience it ourselves again.
Yeah.
Because we're teaching it and we're doing it ourselves, you know, in our marketing and our business. But it is really working that way. And we really want to say to people, do video, and all the things that you said, we can really relate to that. And one small thing to share with you is that last event, no, 2 events ago, was the same event that I met Kim. I was there alone in Vegas. It was 3 events before. I left him at home because he had to do other things, be with the kids, for example. And I saw you sitting in the chair, a few chairs away from me, and I was looking at you like, and I was sitting there alone because Kim was sitting in another place, and I thought, that's that lady from that video where I saw her on stage, and I saw her in that company video, and I thought, she's for real. Because also also part of this community, like you were touching on before. Sometimes you have to see we're all normal people, and you are doing great things right now. But you know, we're all great. People who are watching this are great, and they need to step into their powers as well. And that's what I wanted to say.
Yeah.
Yeah. But see, here's the thing, my darling, right? I don't know how long you've been in this particular business model, but there'll come a time where you'll be sitting in the audience in an event, and someone will be looking at you going, "Oh my God, there's that woman from Holland. Oh my God, she's real. Look at her." Do you know what I mean? And that happens because you share your story on videos, right? Video makes you a reality star. You know, whether you like it or not. And I don't mean to, intimidate any of that, but it really does make you a ground level reality star. You can find the confidence. Here's a trick. I want to show you guys, the audience. When you care more about how you look or what you think of yourself or what other people are going to think of you, your videos will pop. I'll repeat that. When you care more about the message and the impact it's going to have on your viewer than you do about how you look or, whatever you're thinking about yourself, your videos will pop. They will resonate, right? When you can put your ego, that thing that wants to hold you down and get you playing small, when you can take your ego and just go out of here and just be, and you can just be in front of the camera, you will reach everyone that you need to reach. People don't care how you look on video. They don't even really care what you say, to be honest. They care about how they feel when they watch you, right? And the best trick for being real is to look at that little green dot, whether it's in your iPhone or whether it's on the computer, and you talk to one person you really care about. One person. And I always say this, if I impact one person's life today from something I say or something I write, then it's all been worthwhile. It's all been worthwhile. And when you know that you're talking to one person that you care about in that tiny green dot, it's so easy to speak your truth. It's so easy. But if you start thinking, oh my God, 1,000 people might see this on YouTube, it's like, ah, and you start looking really dorky, right? You look like a dork, okay? It doesn't work, right? So that's the biggest tip I can share with people who are afraid of doing videos. That green dot is someone you love. That green dot is someone who's hurting. That green dot is someone who needs you to reach out to them today. And I can't tell you what it means when you have someone reach back. Out of the blue, it happened to me the other day on Facebook. A woman, she wrote on one of my threads that she couldn't get to the next event, but she wanted to give me a big hug because some of my words in my videos had saved her. You don't know who you're impacting, right? You don't know who you're impacting. I've got a woman on the team who, and this has been quite public, she reached out and said, Erica, you saved my life. I started doing these, videos, just random videos in the snow, starting at the beginning of the year. And I didn't know that this woman who had just had a horrific fall was in hospital, opening Facebook every morning, looking for my videos. That had nothing to do with anything except, have an awesome day, you're awesome, right? She would look for my videos. And it took her a while to become confident enough to talk to me. And then a couple of weeks ago, she revealed, Erica, you saved my life. You saved my life, like from a video. So darlings, never discount the power of videos. Get rid of your ego, get rid of your self-consciousness. It's not about you. It is not about you. None of this is about you. It's all about the person you can help on the other end of that tiny little camera. So that would be my $1 million tip for the day.
That is an amazing golden nugget for everyone who is watching this, right, Kim?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Yep. Huge golden nugget. Huge golden nugget. I hope you guys have your notebooks out because Erica shared a lot of them tonight, and it's the beautiful thing about having these hangouts. We can hang out here with like-minded people and be able to share each other's stories, but in the meantime, it is just a video that goes out and we're able to change lives because of it. And that's why we show up every single Tuesday, no matter what. You know, if I'm on a plane, then Dirk and Muriel are here. If they have things going on, then I'm here. So that's why we do this every single week, to help you guys understand that this is a possibility. And for those of you that are watching, at any point, if you're ready to start on your dreams, to start developing your dream lifestyle, if you are looking to develop that purpose in your life, then you can join us by, there's a little button below, and all you have to do is click through, and you can get in touch with us. And if you're not quite there, then talk to us. We will help you. We will want to connect with you. And we're normal people, and we love helping. So I want to bring out Lena real quick. Thank you so much, Erica, for like staying up. And she's been
pleasure.
up for a long time, and she's so gracious to be able to be with us tonight. So we thank you so much. And
Pleasure. Thank you for having me.
thank you over and over. And Lena, I want you to turn on your camera there, and I just wanted you to talk about your vision moving forward on what you're wanting to accomplish with having this huge dream. And I love your 3 words, so I want you to tell your 3 words too. That's amazing, and it's going to get there. And your vision is so huge, and it could touch so many people. And it's amazing how things work out, because so I was messaging people on Facebook and just introducing myself because they've reached out to me, and I met Lena on Facebook, and we started chatting, and it just so happened that I was in Norway and she lives in Stockholm, and she asked, hey, do you want to have a cup of coffee? Like right away, like as soon as we met. And I'm like, yes, let's meet. So as soon as we met, and just like how Muriel and I met at 3 events ago, is we literally just clicked because we're like-minded, we want the same things, we want freedom in our lives, and we want to help each other grow. And Lena is definitely that person, and that's why I know that you're going to get all the success in the world, because you are already there. You've already stepped into it. You've had these 3 words for the last year, and now you're in a vehicle that can provide that for you. So I want to congratulate you for coming out. Thank you so much for sharing that with us, and it's a huge stepping stone for you on your journey. So thank you. Muriel and Dirk, did you want to close up the hangout? And
yeah. First of all, thank you, Erica, for being with us here for a long hangout, and thank you so much for sharing those great real-life stories, personal stories, and just thank you all for joining us here on this TwTw Hangouts, and we wish everybody to live his dreams or her dreams, and we believe it's possible. We know all it's possible. We are actually doing it, and we want to inspire. We're all real people, and we're here every week, and
4 p.m.
at 4 p.m. Eastern, and we're Dirk and Muriel. This was Kim. This was Erica, and this was the TwTw Hangout.
Erica, thank you so much.
Bye bye.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.